So the thing that drove me crazy about the Chris and Jasenia was okay. So essentially, yes, it was the same thing. But what happened the next day was Chris put on a show. So people, I know a lot of people are saying, "Oh, you bullied Chris," and this that. Chris was like woke up the next day and was trying to like cut his eye and act like he was crying and he was moping around and he came out and gave this grand speech about I'm following my heart and it was just
Oh my
also
God.
it was also blatantly bullshit that
Yeah.
it was kind of like okay this is just getting so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And up until that point, even though like Natasha and I we're probably like the closest friends on the beach. Her and I really didn't talk too much about the Brendan situation.
Mhm.
And I liked Brendan. I believed him. So I wasn't as involved in that. I really wasn't. And when Piper came in was the same day Kendall came in. So I was really not paying attention.
You were occupied a little bit.
And it wasn't that I didn't care, but
Right.
it was, I was just like, I didn't think it was what the Chris and Jasenia situation was.
Right.
But you'll have to stay tuned and see what happens. But yeah, it all just got to a point where it just started just getting very aggravating because, I take the show serious. I didn't want to be there. I went there, but then I was like, oh, fuck, I'm going through this again. But when I go through something, I take it seriously and I want to do it the right way. And, to sound selfish, all this shit that was going on was starting to, get in the way of my happiness. It was getting in the way of me growing my relationship because this is all we were all talking about.
Right.
I was like, okay, you know what? You guys are all playing games at this point. It's
Right.
time that people just start leaving because why are you here? Why did you come here?
Yeah.
And yeah, I didn't really Natasha. I mean, you could say it. We didn't really talk that much at the beginning, and I blame a little bit. I blame on myself as well because I just figured like you're fine. You know what you're doing, kind of.
The thing is too, it's like, yeah, right. Like that's a sentiment that happens a lot. And I was not fine, but I also like when I'm going through things, I normally shut down. That's just like the type of person that I am. And I think that the biggest difference, it did feel very similar, but the difference too is that Chris and Jasenia looked like the ideal couple. They were all over each other. They
Yeah.
were with each other. They were all, like she
He
was
was
happy.
bragging.
She was happy.
He was
Yeah, like-
bragging that like they're the strongest couple on the beach, and I was like,
Yeah.
what is this kid talking
Yeah.
about? But that was like constant with him. That's
Saying
all
he
I
came
kept
to the
saying.
beach for
And-
her specifically, and like it
Yeah.
was just like a match made in heaven. Yes.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. Whereas it was no surprise to everyone on the beach that Brendan and I were very up and down. We had really great days and then we had not so great days. And it was just a very like up and down thing. And also, I think the people who, like Riley, who was at the actual party when Alana came in and then they
Mhm.
started making out, it's like to go from seeing this person all over one person who's your friend who you've been with since the beginning and then
Right.
see him just making out with someone else. Brendan and Piper went on a date. They went off the beach. They
Yeah.
went on a date. Then they came back the next day and they were joined at the hip. And it was kind of like, okay, I think because again, I'm the type of person that kind of like shuts down. I was very like that next day, I was just very much not in the same space as Jasenia. As Jasenia saw it happen in her face, she left the party. She was riled up. She was pissed off. Whereas for me, I was more so hurt because I was sifting through the fact that I was lied to this whole time.
Well, what makes your situation more difficult for you was it was almost hard to believe you because we didn't know what happened behind the scenes with you and Brendan.
Right.
And
I wasn't talking about my relationship with everyone.
Yeah, and
either.
it seemed like it did seem like you could never tell how serious Natasha and Brendan were.
Even
as
though we
far
were
as we-
always together.
Yeah, as far as we were concerned, though. But you couldn't.
Yeah.
And
I mean-
like, and you know,
Even as like a viewer, like I don't think like we were able to see like the little sentiments that he was giving you in your guys' conversation. Everybody else on the beach was not privy to that information. So like
Right.
you
Right.
were like, okay, wait, no, he's validating me. And then like, but then next day, okay, maybe you were over here, he was over there. So like to you guys, it was just like, I mean, they're together, but like, I don't know what's going on. We don't know how serious it is, but he just kept giving you the nuggets that he needed to hear or that you needed to hear in order for,
Right.
well, you to kind of keep him around and him to keep you around. So
yeah. And also
that's
like,
a
we
mind
spent
fuck.